Hello and welcome to another episode of In the Mix with John Galloway, presented by CrossBones MMA Radio. I'll be your host, John Galloway, and today, as we look at the world of combat sports, I'll be joined by my guest, Brock Jardine. Brock, John Galloway, CrossBones MMA, how's it going today?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, thanks for asking. So, Brock, we got a fight coming up Halloween night, October 31st, for Titan FC at Titan FC 31. You're going to be fighting Steve Montgomery. Why don't you tell me about how that fight came to be?
This will be my second fight with Titan, and I was just, I'm always bugging Titan to fight. You know, if I'm healthy, I'm always bugging him to fight, and so I just bugged them enough to where they got me a fight again.
Nice. Now, like I said, you're going to be fighting Steve Montgomery coming up. Any previous experience with Steve? Seen any videos of him or any scouting of his fighting?
Before they told me who and whatnot, I didn't really know who he was or anything. Since then, I've watched some film, and my coach has broken down some film and whatnot, and he's a tough, young, scrappy, durable guy, so, it's definitely going to be a fight for the fans. Now,
Steve's in the process of doing a vlog series, the video blog, documenting his journey up to this fight coming up with you. Have you had a chance to take a look at that?
No, I've seen that Titan has posted them, but I don't really care to, what he's doing to get ready, kind of thing. I just worry about what I need to do to get ready to go out there and put on a good performance, and so I'm just more worried about me. No disrespect to him, but I just not worried about what he's doing,
Nice, and I'm glad you said that because it was a direction I wanted to take this at one point, so we might as well do it now. When you're preparing for a fight, I'm basing by what you just stated that you really don't take too much into account what your opponent's doing, how they're training. You seem to focus on your training, your game plan, and what you're trying to implement. Is that a fair assessment of what you had said?
Yeah, no, for sure. And, I just, if you sit there and watch too much film and worry about, what he's going to do and what he's good at, it plays into your mind, you're, oh, man, he's, you almost, become obsessed with the person, and you, overanalyze everything, and it adds stress, and it's, for me, it's just, I'll watch a little bit of film, let my coaches, do more than I do, and, I just take their word for it, and I just, just worry about myself and getting myself ready.
Nice. Now, you're no stranger to the big show. You've previously fought with Titan at Titan 28. You fought on a UFC card, the Ronda Rousey headlined. So, what's going to be, as you step into this octagon, or into the decagon, I believe they have, what is it that goes through your mind when you're stepping in? It's a big show. This one's going to be at the USF Sun Dome in Tampa. What happens? Do you hear the crowd? Do you phase them out? Do you get tunnel vision? Tell me about what happens when you get into the cage.
I'm pretty chill for the most part, and I'm just waiting for the ref to, let us go at it. As far as the crowd and stuff like that, I don't really pay too much attention to it. I kind of zone it out, and I know he's from Florida, so he'll definitely have the home crowd in his favor. But it's not the first time in my career where I've gone to enemy territory to fight. And then also when you fight at home, I feel like that's even more pressure because he's gonna have his friends and family there and whatnot, and I'll have me in my one corner, and they probably like my brother, so I'm just out there to go and fight and do my job, and don't have the pressure of all of his friends and family there to try to perform in front of.
Now, take me back to your roots. Tell me about your beginnings, how you got into MMA, how it all started for you.
I wrestled my whole life, from middle school, high school, college, and while I was in college, I was teammates with a UFC vet and former WEC champion Jamie Varner, and he kind of, got a lot of us interested in MMA. We were like, oh, what is this? So Jamie's definitely the one that got me interested in it, and then he was having his success in fighting and whatnot. And when I was done college wrestling, I was like, oh, thank God, I don't have to make weight anymore. And so I was just being lazy for probably 6 months or so, and then it was just kind of like the competitive bug was like, hey man, been an athlete your whole life ever since I was little. Played all the sports and excelled at wrestling, and then it was like I had nothing to do, so that's what kind of turned me to fighting. I used my wrestling to kind of get my fighting career going.
Now, do you think it's an advantage to you to have that extensive wrestling background as a base to fall back on, or you're at a point now where you're getting a lot of fighters that are coming up that from day one are mixed martial artists. They're training all facets of the game from the start. Do you think it's an advantage or a disadvantage for somebody like you to have one discipline as your primary base?
Yeah, I see both sides of it. I mean, definitely, for me, the beginning of my fighting career, that's all I used was my wrestling to, take people down and beat them up and submit them and whatnot. But then, as the sport progressed, so did the fighters, and, you have to progress as well. And, if you ask anybody now about my fighting style, they wouldn't say I was a wrestler. I like to, hit people.
Right.
So, I mean, I use and I still use my wrestling. I just prefer to stand up. But then wrestling too, the biggest thing wrestling teaches you is just that mental and physical toughness, having to go into a wrestling room, and, a Division I wrestling room, for anyone, who's been in there for a season or multiple seasons, they can attest, it's very hard to get through the season, just the daily grind of wrestling. So, I mean, physically, I've always been able to push myself, and, the mental side of it's always, wrestling definitely helps me out with that too. So to me, I feel that wrestling was an advantage for the beginning of my career, being so dominant in one aspect compared to a lot of the guys I fought, and then,
Right.
Just getting that physical and mental toughness from, having to go up to high-level wrestlers every day.
Yeah, talking about that, you fight out of the pit elevated, you're on the fight team there. You got guys in that camp like Josh Berkman, Steven Seiler, Court McGee, yourself, Ramsey Najim. What's it like going against these guys in that level competition all the time? Tell me how that affects you, not only with your actual fight game, but also mentally knowing that you're holding your own with this level of competition.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely it's very nice to I actually live with Steve Seiler, so we're constantly talking about fighting and training and watching sports, so it's definitely very nice. But then as far as the training goes, I mean, it's definitely iron sharpens iron. So I mean, you're in there with these guys, and the names that you mentioned are definitely very, very tough guys. But then we have a bunch of other guys that that are just as tough that I get to train with too, because of everyone in that room. You know, we just had a kid make his UFC debut on a week notice. Clay Collard, you know, he's kind of come up through the ranks and got his UFC call, and we got a bunch of other prospects that are, you know, trying to make a name for themselves. So everyone in that room, it's not like you can really pick a partner to go with to have an easy day, you know. So
right.
we're definitely pushing each other, and you know, we have to sometimes, you know, we don't spar as much as we used to, because you know, we're trying to stay healthy so we can keep fighting, you know, because definitely you get some couple competitors and high level fighters going at it, you know, no one wants to give an inch, so it definitely makes for a very good and fun sparring rounds, and it's a competition every day, you know.
Yeah, that's gotta, you know, it's definitely gotta raise your level of confidence when you walk out of a gym like that and into a cage, knowing, you know, knowing the level of competition that you're at and you're facing. I recently spoke to Adam in the gym, and you know, he said the same thing, that you guys are constantly there trying to, you know, prepare one another for whoever's got the next fight up. It sounds like a great camp and a good team atmosphere there.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've all been, you know, me, Siler, Court, Ramsey, Josh, and a handful of other guys. You know, we've been training together for, I mean, me and Ramsey have been training together for almost like 10 years, because we were college wrestling teammates.
Nice.
So, I mean, we're just, you know, so we're always, and, you know, now Ramsey and Adam, they moved out to San Francisco, which actually was out in San Francisco last week training with Ramsey and Jake Shields before Jake fights this weekend for World Series of Fighting. But, you know, I mean, we still train together all the time and still talk all the time, and, you know, just everyone kind of grew up, you know, together in the sport, and
sure.
We all kind of hit the UFC mark around the same time, and you know, it's cool. It's like me and Ramsey, you know, we talk about it all the time. It's like, man, you know, me and Ramsey started in our living room. It was literally, I signed up to fight. I had no idea like what I was doing, so like we moved the kitchen tables and chairs and just beat the crap out of each other, and then we sit there and like wrestle in the living room, and then you know, eventually we were like, hey, you know, let's just go into the wrestling room after hours, and you know, so then we went to the wrestling room. But I mean, you know, that's, you know, me and Ramsey have been teammates for a long, long time now, so it's been fun, and it's a fun journey to, you know, watch his success for me.
Now, let me ask you this, because in your weight division, out of your gym, you got Josh Berkman, you got Court McGee, you got a couple other guys. What's the mindset there with you guys? If the opportunity or the occasion arose where you had to fight a teammate, are you guys a camp that says this is business, this is what we're here to do, and you would fight and then, you know, hang out afterwards, or are you a team that says no, we don't fight each other?
I think for the most part, we wouldn't fight each other. You know, I mean, as you know, Dana always says, like, you know, there's a price. You know, so I mean,
sure.
Obviously, if just some show just wanted us to fight, we'd probably pass on it. But obviously, if it was like for a title and whatnot, you know, there'd probably be some more consideration to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, me and Ramsey thought we were going to have to fight each other when we both tried out for the Ultimate Fighter, and I didn't make it, and Ramsey did, and that was the year, you know, Ramsey went to the finale. And so, I mean, we were still training together every day, and we were like, hey, man, we have to fight each other. We have to fight each other. Like, this is both of our opportunities. Like, you know, we can't not fight each other. So,
yeah.
Yeah, you know, so, I mean, if the opportunity is there, I'm sure we would fight each other, but I mean, it'd have to be something, you know, worth it.
Gotcha. Now, going into your fights, you know, going into the gym every day, obviously you have sponsors, you have people that are helping you out along the way. Anybody you want to give a shout out or a mention to coming into this fight, and, you know, the people that have helped you out?
Yeah, I definitely want to thank Will and Heather Farrar, their company, VA Mortgage Leader. They've helped me out. in and outside of the cage for a very long time, and I'm greatly appreciative for them. Also want to thank my gym, the Pit Elevated, Warrior Fuel, Riven Athletics, Bam Bam's Barbecue, and The Throne.
All right, now the fight's going to be Halloween night, October 31st. It's at the USF Sundome in Tampa, Florida. Now, if people can't get out to Tampa, out to the Sundome to see it live, they can catch it on CBS or CBSSports.com. But if they're just trying to keep up with you and what's going on with your fight and your career, where can they do that on social media? Where are you on Facebook and Twitter?
Facebook is just Brock Jardine. Twitter, it's at Brock Jardine, and then Instagram, it's at Brock Jardine 170. So if you follow me, you'll probably see just a lot of pictures of me and my daughter.
Hey, family first.
Training and me and my daughter. So
that's good. Family first. That's an important thing.
Yes, exactly.
All right. Well, that's going to wrap up another episode of In the Mix with John Galloway, presented by CrossBones MMA Radio. I'd like to extend a big thank you to today's guest for joining us. For Brock Jardine, this is John Galloway, and we are tapping out.